and welcome to another Waypoint FPL update. It's the last one before the international break, which has always comes much quicker than we hope it would, Chris. But that's fine. How's it going, Chris?
Yeah, going all right. It's been a bit of a weird week, but we're going all right.
I can imagine, yes, which I'm sure we'll touch on in a bit when we do the sign-off.
We'll come back.
Indeed, but first we've got some fantasy to talk about. Third week in, closing off the month of August as well, I suppose. And Smithy finds himself back on the top of the pile. He was unseated by Jono. Actually, to be fair, it's tied at the top. I didn't actually spot him tied at the top, but Smithy takes it, I suppose, with the higher weekly score. Neither Jono nor Smithy had a particularly astounding week. It was a reasonably good score, but it wasn't one of the top ones, so we're not going to look at their teams accordingly. We're going to go straight to Mike in third, though, who does climb his way back up towards the top of the table, so he's now in third with the week high of 68. Let's take a look at Mike's team, Chris. So he's got Sanchez in goal, we've got 6, Pedro Porro 4, Van Dijk, obviously, with 8. So I got 3. Bruno Fernandes, who he continues to plug at, rewarded with that this time with 10. Gakpo 3, Dewsbury Hall 12, nice little play there, and Haaland, who he captained with the 18. So pretty solid all around, I would say, Chris.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of this week, Nath, with a lot of Haaland captains.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to say though, the big 10 points there in midfield from a player that I can only describe as Mike's favourite player, which is Bruno Fernandes. Anchoring that midfield there, him and Dewsbury Hall making an unlikely partnership, but yes, say a big midfield display there from Mike's team. Getting them across up to 68 this week, and we shouldn't forget that big 6 points from the keeper as well. So we like to see big keeper scores where we can.
It's been a pretty good start for keeper scores, I feel like. There's been some pretty decent ones. So, yeah, Mike being the main beneficiary here this week. He is 5 points short of Smithy and Jono, so the gap at the top is closed. There's a bit of a gap between him and fourth. We have a new entrant to the top 5, Chris, with Luke Oldfield, who he's changed his name, hasn't he? Or was that always his? No, that was always his name. But 62, so another solid score. So let's take a look at his team as he slides into fourth place. So Tarkovsky with 3, Van Dijk again with 8, Caicedo got 4, and Boimo with 10. So 3 again. Captain João Pedro, he scored some points again with 18, and Jared Bowen with the 9 as well. Brave starting a West Ham player, and he was rewarded for his bravery, Chris.
Absolutely, and yeah, I think if you're going to start one West Ham player, it's probably going to be him. West Ham don't have anybody else that you really like, really. But we don't see Haaland in there. We see a João Pedro and Bowen 2 up front, and that's bold. Having said that, though, again, from time to time, we like to give credit where credit's due. That feels like a relatively good real life team. It's quite wingery, though, isn't it? It's quite wingery.
Yeah,
but
lots of wingers there.
It's definitely direct. I'm just not going to go as far as
saying. You've got Caicedo to do the holding. It's fine.
It's a back 3 of him, Tarkovsky and Van Dijk, and everybody else is attacking. So that's very cautious on the wind there. I like it.
It worked for Luke this week, so it's fine. And then sliding back into the top 5, I think, is Brett, who had the tied 3rd weekly highest score. How dreadfully dull, Chris. All the top scores coming in the top, though I suppose that's not entirely surprising. He got 56, just a point behind Luke. So let's take a look at Brett's team. He's got Mark Gay with the 15, which you'll love. And I'll say the line, the FA Cup winning, Community Shield winning, soon to be Europa Conference League winning Crystal Palace. And he captained Haaland with the 18, and João Pedro with the 9. Quite a top heavy week from Brett, but hey, it all counts, and he's back in the top 5.
Absolutely, and we see, and you're right, Nate. You're right. Then let's just talk about that performance from Mark Gay, shall we? The finish for the goal that he scored in that game was like any striker you will see. In fact, it was better than any striker you will see, and that's why he's worth the money he is. That's why Palace won't get any money from him. Having said that, Haaland and João Pedro throughout the course of the year, they seem to be the 4 men, and I quite like the fact that Brett's got both in there, but. Let's just spare a thought, just for a minute, that that Jean-Philippe Mateta is languishing on the bench of this particular team, and I just don't think that's right. Justice for JP Mateta. Let's get him out. Right. So I see that Alcaraz is there. I see he's playing a back four.
Yeah, that was going to be my fourth comment. Yeah, get rid of the back four. What are you doing?
Let's get Mateta in. Harlan, Mateta, and João Pedro might be the ultimate three in the game. So let's do it.
It's a pretty good front three as far as it goes. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. What could have been, Brett? What could have been? You could have the standalone third highest score of the week. What an accomplishment that would have been. But the other tied third highest, as that rounds up the top five. Before we get to that, I should say Cal has slipped out of the top five as quickly as he entered it, as has Luke S. But then they're sniffing around still. Alex scored the tied third highest score of the week, and he's now up in 14th with 56. So we'll take a quick look at his team, see how different or same it is. So he got the 6 from Sanchez, Anko Correa. He played Juve, which I'm a big fan of. I think he's actually a good player for West Ham. But again, bold in the week he played him to get the 10. Salah 3, Fernandez 10, Dye 7. Mateta did make his way into the starting lineup for Alex Chris, and he captained Chris Wood, unfortunately, who only got obviously 2 cardio points, and that doubled to 4, leaving Richards on the bench with 8 though. Chris,
yeah, that's a puzzling decision. Then I have to say that this team throughout it, top to bottom, is huge, apart from Salah, obviously. But the land of the 6-foot giants in here. And I genuinely, if I was a centre back or any defender playing against that forward line, I would hate it. But again, can we just say justice for Chris Richards on the bench this week? Again, I mean, it might not be every week, to be fair, but justice this week. Big 8 points, missed out the opportunity there. But generally speaking, I think there's points in this team. Though I think it'd be interesting to see how he gets on without one of João Pedro or Haaland up front.
Yeah,
I'm not really too sure what money's been spent here.
Yeah, let's see. So, I mean, Fernandez and Salah will be 2 of the more expensive players. Watkins isn't a cheap forward, I would say. He's not the same level as Haaland, but he isn't too cheap either. And yeah, beyond that, you're right. There's not a huge amount of high spenders in this, but those 3 will be taking up the... It did feel like a difficult year, to be fair, with the budget. So, that budget did not stretch far, it feels like. We will now turn to the bottom, which Palmer has lifted himself off of last place with, a respectable 43. Nothing burning the world light, but it's enough to take him out of last place. And lift him over Jake by a margin of 8 points, who did have the lowest score of the week with 26. Only 2 teams in the 20s, and he was clearly one of them. Let's take a look at the side. So we had Pedro Porro, who got 4.
Oh, no.
We captained Salah, who had the 3, so obviously double to the 6. Verts with 3, and he did play Mateta with 5 as well. But then beyond that, lots of 1s. Not even the normal 2s, which either mean these guys got subbed off before they got the 2 just for playing, or they got cards or something. Oh, there was 1 too, excuse me, with Gabriel. But beyond that, we'd forget for Jake, Chris.
Yeah, Jake, do you just like red? That's the only thing I can think of. Do you
It's a very red team.
It's a very red team. Also, this is a fantasy football no-no, as we know across multiple disciplines of fantasy football. If you're putting all your eggs in one basket, or in this case, 3 baskets, and Jean-Philippe Mateta, who is his highest, almost his highest scorer. No, he is his highest scorer of the week. Salah's got fake points through captaincy. If you're just going with 3 teams, you're probably going to fall foul of that, especially on the bench as well. There's no real variety there. I think this team looks like it should play its wild card, and there's some bits in there that probably work, but
pieces, yeah.
I haven't seen enough from Verts and Odegaard, and Brennan Johnson and Cunha, more to the point, to merit being in anybody's team, let alone this one. So, ditch them all. Gabriel, by the way, not the same player without his mate William Saliba. I think he's well overrated. I think William Saliba's the man. But get rid of everybody else but them, and Pedro Porro and Jean-Philippe Mateta. I think you're good. Just start again.
Yeah, good advice, I'd say.
The only way is up.
Indeed, I was far too keen with the wild card. That's my only regret, but I'm a big fan of an early wild card. So, yeah, I think it's, as you say, a good time for Jake to use it. That is it for all the recaps and stuff. So, yeah, we will obviously have a bit of a break with the international break, but we'll be back before you know it, no doubt. As normal, Chris, though, I will give you the final word.
Yeah, you get the spirited delights of England versus Andorra tomorrow.
Woo!
Woohoo! I don't know when we'll watch that. But before that, we also have the delight of playing Riverside away in a friendly. I say that unexpectedly it is a friendly. Now, the reason why it's friendly, as you may have seen, is that we were relegated to Div 2 per league instruction as a team pulled out. So, look, one of those things that happens. And yes, it's going to be disappointing, but I do think we're still going to have a great season. We've got plenty of opportunity to go and win stuff. We're competing on multiple fronts. So, yeah, it's a strange scenario to find yourself in, but find ourselves in it we do. So, yeah, next weekend, first fixture of the Div 2 season. If you want to see all the fixtures of that, do have a look on the FA Full-Time website. That's all out there now. Yeah, as for tomorrow, well, if you have put yourself down for playing, great. We'll see you there. 9:40, I think it is, at ISS Academy Mayfield. If you have yet to put your name down and you'd still like to play, you by all means can. Just let us know. Other than that, yeah, we'll be back this time next week for 2 weeks' time for more of this. Yes, keep an eye on the chat for more. If you don't see you before Thursday at training, then yeah, see you in 2 weeks' time.